It's the final home game of the season for Highland men's basketball as they host the Southeastern Blackhawks. Welcome to Larry F. Kale Gymnasium in Freeport, Illinois. I'm Adam Oppenheim alongside Sam Oppenheim. The Cougars come in at 11-15, 8-9 in Region 4 play. Southeastern 15-10 overall out of Region 11. The Blackhawks are coming off a 72-66 loss at number 5 Indian Hills. The Cougars, they've lost 7 out of their past 8, but they look to bounce back here on sophomore night.
They do, Adam, and the good thing is they beat this team this year, the Southeastern Iowa team. They split the 2 meetings, but the last game in December, Highland won 64-60, and Walter Hill Jr. put up 20 points. He's one of the many sophomores we'll see tonight for sophomore night.
Highland has 7 total sophomores. 5 will be active. Jaheim Ciego will be out again. And Mayo Swansea was ruled out today with back spasms. These teams faced off in November and December. Now, these coaches said there's not a whole lot you take from those meetings just because these teams have turned over so much.
Right. There's been a lot of injuries, a lot of personnel changes. The one thing to look out for Southeastern, no Jacob Franklin tonight. So who steps up for them? I think it's got to be Prophet Fields, who had a game-high 15 in their last game against Indian Hills, or Brady Martin. Jaleel Donnelly could also contribute some of the scoring as well. Look for those guys to kind of fill some of the scoring void left by the absence of Franklin.
You mentioned Jacob Franklin. He tore his ACL back on December the 10th against Malcolm X. They faced off against Highland just a few days later in the Diamond Brothers Insurance Tournament. And Lorenzo Watkins didn't exactly know how his team was going to be able to react after that injury. They've now played a couple months without him, so a much different look for the Southeastern team. Something to keep in mind, their last game against Indian Hills, they lost by 6 points against the 5th-ranked junior college team in the nation. Indian Hills 15-0 at home, and that's the smallest margin of victory they've had this season.
Well, that Indian Hills team is a buzzsaw, Adam. They've won 12 in a row, so it was tough seeing that winning streak come to the end of 6 games, but however, they got a good chance to bounce back here tonight. I think a little bit of an emotional night for both teams here.
Absolutely, and according to our clock on the scoreboard, we're going to be starting a little bit later due to the sophomore day festivities. So the sophomores for Highland, Kevin Morales, who played 2 years for the Cougars, Walter Hill Jr., same deal, was the leading returning scorer for the Cougars this season. Mayo Swansea, who transferred from Vincennes. Anthony Washington in his first year in the program. Mohamed Bello Suleiman, it's his 2nd year in the program, just played in 1 game last season. Jaheim Ciego, who is out again with a mouth injury, will miss the rest of this season. And the redshirt sophomore forward, Chin Hansen, who is possibly an All-American status.
I'm really excited to see Chin Hansen here tonight. I've seen a lot of highlights throughout the season. A top 40 prospect, according to JUCO Recruiting. He's going to bring it tonight. I know he's going to play his best game here tonight.
Yeah, in fact, you mentioned that national recognition. So out of all the sophomores in the nation, he was ranked number 39 and hoping to continue his basketball career at a 4-year institution. Same for Walter Hill Jr. Well, with that, we'll take a break and be back with some more keys to the game and the starters after this, here from Larry F. Kale Gymnasium. And if you just missed it a moment ago, Highland honoring President Christina Kuberski, who's been the president at Highland Community College since July of 2020. So with that, we'll get you the starters after this short break for the national anthem. Welcome back to Freeport, Illinois. Let's now meet the starters. Starting off for the visitors, the Southeastern Blackhawks from West Burlington, Iowa, 3 hours southwest of Freeport. A sophomore guard from Bronx, New York, number 3, Prophet Fields. A freshman guard from Minneapolis, Minnesota, number 5, Jaleel Donley. A freshman forward from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, number 11, Trevin Crumry. A sophomore guard from Burlington, Iowa, number 22, Brady Martin. And a freshman forward from Whitehall, Pennsylvania, number 23, Eric Hines. Head coach Lorenzo Watkins in his 9th season, 193-76, his overall record. Now the starters for Highland. A redshirt sophomore guard from Immokalee, Florida, number 1, Kevin Morales. A sophomore guard from Rockford, Illinois, number 2, Walter Hill Jr. A sophomore guard from Madison, Wisconsin, number 4, Anthony Washington. A freshman guard from Belgrade, Serbia, number 22, Stevan Jurisic. And a redshirt sophomore forward from Chicago, Illinois, number 23, Shin Hansen. It's all sophomores besides Jurisic for Highland. These teams faced off twice this season. December the 13th of last year, 64-60 victory for Highland at home in the Diamond Brothers Insurance Tournament. And Southeastern won at home against Highland 73-64 on November 12th. Not often teams in different regions face off 3 times in one season. But that's what we have here tonight, Sam.
Absolutely, and as playoffs are coming up here, the region tournaments are coming up, this is a big game. You know, being in Region 11, if you're Southeastern, is a bit different, less conference games. If you're Highland, though, you know there's a lot of competition. You're going to be on the road, more than likely, in the playoffs. Tonight's a big game to set the tone and kind of snap kind of a skid they've been on.
Highland right now is set at the 5 seed. But still a few games left on the docket. Head coach for the Cougars, Eric Walton, first season as the head man. Hansen and Hines in the center circle. Tip is grabbed by Jurisic. And Highland begins with the ball. Jurisic tosses it away on the first possession. Coming off a career-high game last Saturday versus Kankakee. He had 18 points on 7 of 8 from the floor. Fields. Inside Hines, the steal by Hansen, leaves it to Jurisic. Stefan Jurisic down the lane, and he draws a foul and 2 shots coming.
Hey, after that first possession turnover, way to be aggressive and try to take it to the hoop. A well-deserved trip to the line.
Chin Hansen doesn't get in a ton of passing lanes. We've seen a couple times this year he's ran the transition break. That time sets up 2 foul shots. First one's off the mark from Jurisic. Also had his first career double-double. The 18 points he had along with 11 rebounds.
And 6 blocks too, Adam. I don't know if that official score maybe added a few extra, but credited with 6 blocks in that game, an impressive game for sure. His best of the season.
He splits the pair at the line. Corner shooter, it's Martin. Got it.
Oh, we talked about Brady Martin as someone that had to step up in his last game, 2 or 3 from deep, and he's already nailed a triple.
He's one of 2 sophomores in the rotation for Southeastern. As it goes down low to Hansen, he goes up, gets it back, wouldn't go. Couple of chances on the interior for Hansen, and Southeastern has possession. Crumry, who missed the last meeting against Highland, was out all of December with turf toe. Fields with 12 on the shot clock. Will back downhill, Jr.
Look at the double coming.
Pass left off for Hines. He missed it. Right at the basket.
A lot of off-ball screens for the Southeastern team, but a good job by the Cougars protecting the paint.
Hansen calling for it. Jurisic gets it to him. Chin Hansen on the face-up against Hines. Double coming. Fades away from the double. It doesn't matter.
Man, he loves that elbow spot, doesn't he? Takes a couple dribbles, creates some separation, and a good finish.
Hansen just sprays it all over the floor. Crumry from the top. Second triple down for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, and we talk about, hey, they've already made more threes than their last game against Highland. They were just 1 of 11, 2 trays early.
Hansen down low. Got hit on the arm. Foul goes against Donley.
That's such a contrast in styles between the three-point shooting of Southeastern and pounding it down low for Highland.
Southeastern is a very good three-point shooting team, 37%. Highland at 32 this season. Hansen hits the first free throw. This is a Southeastern team that most likely without Jacob Franklin is not going to score a ton in the paint. And then when you have someone of the frame of Chin Hansen down low, it deters those shots even more. Hansen can't hit the second. So Highland begins 2 of 4 from the foul line. Donley will get a screen, pulls up, left it on the front rim.
A couple lefties on the Southeastern team, Donley, Hinson. You got to wonder if they're going to try to bring them more to the center of the floor, being lefties.
Jurisic on the post up. Draws the second defender. Hansen intercepts the pass. It was intended for Hill Jr. He comes up short. Martin away with the rebound. Jaleel Donley against Washington. Prophet Fields, tough mid-range jumper. Wouldn't go, Hines has the rebound. Crumry off the pump fake, all nylon.
As soon as they got the rebound there, they're looking to kick it out to a shooter. It wasn't a three, but Crumry takes one step, is open, and knocks it down.
Hill Jr. being pressured up top by Martin. Morales catches the pass, but only with 9 on the shot clock. Washington, Jurisic, corner 3. That's good. Stefan Jurisic has found the touch from deep.
Man, he's only averaging just under 5 points a year, but coming off those 18 points, expect him to shoot it more. But a lot of his attempts weren't from deep, just 2 3-point attempts in his last game.
He's been a willing shooter when open, but Coach Wallen has wanted him to shoot the ball more, and he's done that the past few games. Fields had it knocked away. It will stay at this end with 6 on the shot clock.
Speaking of guys coming off a good game, how about Anthony Washington tying his career high with 15, making an effort on the defensive end there.
And he had 3 triples in that game. Now has 7 on the season. Martin, nice defense by Morales, forces the miss. Hines, the rebound, and the putback. Southeastern bench was going crazy. Hill Jr. off on a 3. The tip wouldn't go. Back to the Blackhawks.
And that's immediately going to send a sub in for Coach Walton.
David Udella in for Chin Hansen.
Just too many offensive rebounds given up by this Highland team, and that just allows more second chance points. You know, they say the best time to shoot a 3 is after an offensive rebound, and they proved that so far.
For Southeastern, Donley out. Caitlin William Thomas is in. William Thomas has it against Hill Jr. Will take it into the paint, has it knocked away and stolen by Udella.
Man, you know, for Coach Walton, one of those things he preached coming in was defense, defense, and tempo. We've had both so far.
Udella, extra feed. Morales, corner 3. Short. Fields snags the rebound. Southeastern looks to push. Fields attacks Udella and draws the foul.
I love the aggressiveness by Fields so far in this game, whether it's on rebounding or bringing it up the floor.
Pass goes over the top to Crumry. Coach Watkins said about Crumry, with the month absence due to the turf toe, it's like restarting your freshman season. William Thomas, ball was knocked away, but a reach-in foul called against Urisic, who raises his hand.
Boy, it's tough being out for a month in such a season that's so compact and trying to figure things out.
And especially when you just go from the high school level to the collegiate level, it's a big jump for a lot of players. Coach Wallen has talked about that all season long, that it's a little bit more difficult compared to someone going from high school to a post-grad year and then transferring to a junior college. William Thomas, good on the second. 11-7. The Blackhawks lead the Cougars. David Udella is guarded by Hines. Udella crosses over into the paint, dropped it off. It was kicked, but right to Morales.
Oh, that's got to be a foul there.
Morales is bumped by Hines.
A little too much iso ball right now if you're the Cougars. I think a little more motion on offense could kind of open up some opportunities. We saw a corner 3 from Urisic earlier. I feel like we need to get a few more of those looks going for the Cougars.
EB is in for Hines. Morales, right wing 3, nails it. Kevin Morales from distance, one of the best shooters in the region.
Yeah, I mean, he's shooting a better percent from 3 this season than from the field. That's how you know it's your turn to pull the trigger on a tray.
He has been willing this season to shoot the 3 ball if he's open or has a little space. Fields splits a couple. Cougars back outside. Martin, 5 on the shot clock. He's got a pull, and he buries it. A long 2 for Brady Martin.
I don't think Fields needed to make that extra pass there, but it ended up a kick out and a long 2-point attempt.
Udella, a corner 3, wouldn't go. Fields another rebound as Hansen will go to the scores table. Fields down the lane, couldn't bank it in. Udella the rebound. And he will slow it down. Hill Jr. attacks right to the rim for an easy 2. Walter Hill Jr. has struggled with his shot. Past 3 games from deep, 4 for 26. And was 7 for 26 versus Kankakee last Saturday.
Makes driving to the rim that much more appealing.
Evie Martin pops open for a 3. Got it. Brady Martin, a couple early triples. He has 8 points. Just had 2 points in the last meeting versus the Cougars. 4-point lead for Southeastern as Hill is fouled.
Well, Martin's being left open, Adam. I think they're collapsing in a little too much. You can't leave him open considering what he's already done from deep.
Brady Martin, 44% on the season from 3. Just a giant improvement on his season last year, where he shot 35% from the floor and 27 from distance. Chin Hansen back in, gets an early touch. 7 on the shot clock. Hill Jr. back to Hansen. Skips it, Morales, Washington, Hill Jr. Didn't get it off in time.
Love the ball movement, but it took a little too long to develop. You see the slip screen by Hansen, but just too much movement. You got to attack at some point.
William Thomas will come in for Crumry. Tony is into the game for Udella. So Highland plays a little double big lineup that we've seen work at times really well this season. Henson off the bounce. Leaves to Donley. Has Morales on him. Eby down low was blocked by Hansen. Jump ball. Is the call. Stays with Southeastern, but just 9 on the shot clock. Got to get the ball in. Morales nearly steals it, but Hinson has it. Backs down. Another tie-up. This one favors the Cougars.
I like the tenacity on the defensive end for Highland. I think the offense just really needs to pick it up here almost halfway through this first half.
Highland has had a ton of late shot clock situations. Trying to get some early offense going, and some easy offense preferably. Hansen on the face-up. We'll see 2. Hill Jr. In and out. That's just the way it's been going for Walter Hill Jr. William Thomas was fouled by Washington.
I think this pace is definitely favoring Southeastern a bit more run and gun. If you're open, shoot it, no matter if it's a long 2 even, which is one of the most inefficient shots in basketball. They're fine with taking that considering their personnel.
Highland certainly has a size advantage, and they play at a slower tempo with the ball getting to Chin Hansen on the block a lot. Martin flies off a screen into the paint, draws a thicket of Cougars. Hinson, 10 on the shot clock. We'll see 2. And a whistle and a foul against Morales.
The good thing if you're the Cougars, though, this is only a 4-point game. You've been outshot, especially from deep.
Suleiman in for Morales. Martin has the big Hansen on him. And now Hansen switches off to William Thomas. A nice contest, but Highland couldn't grab the rebound. It was Eby who had it slip through his hands. Hill Jr. try to bounce it to Hansen. Kick ball. Hines in for Eby. Southeastern is showing Chin Hansen two bodies before he even touches the basketball. Inbound to Hansen, off one leg. Well short. Eric Welton not happy about that shot. Martin spins into the lane, bounces for Donley. Jaleel Donley off the bounce. Nylon.
I know basketball has changed, Adam, but don't tell that to Southeastern. Mid-range is their game.
And the three-point shot has opened up a lot of those mid-range shots as the teardrop goes for Walter Hill Jr. William Thomas on the drive, sneaks around Suleiman to scoop it up and in. Highland has had trouble stopping this Southeastern team from getting to the paint. Suleiman, tough fall away. William Thomas pushes. Donley open. Wouldn't go from three. Timeout, Eric Walton. Southeastern ahead of Highland, 20-14, with 8:42 remaining in the first half. After the Cougars' full timeout, they have Suleiman, Hill Jr., Hanson, Washington, and Tony on the floor. Fields, Crumry, Hines, William Thomas, and Donley, the 5 for the Blackhawks. They've shot the ball extremely well in the first half. Highland just down 6 points. Suleiman, difficult fall away. Bad foul against William Thomas. Suleiman loves to make a living off those tough shots, but man, that was an extremely difficult shot, highly contested, but he gets 2 foul shots. A rounding out on the first by Suleiman. Suleiman good on the second. Again, if you just joined us, Highland without Mayo Swansea, out with back spasms. That caused him to miss some games in January as well. Crumry spins into the paint. Is going to see big Chin Hansen. Gets it away to Hines. Over the top of Hansen. It wouldn't bounce in.
If a couple of these layups have gone for Southeastern, this would be a double-digit margin.
But right now, the lead is just 5. Hansen just alters so many shots. Suleiman just grazed the rim. Donley in a hurry across the lane. Hines is going to attack and score on the right-hand jump hook. This point for Chin Hansen, he's seen Hines pass out so many times that maybe you're not expecting him to shoot the ball when he's on the block. Tony walked with it.
Offense has been a little better for the Cougars in this middle portion of the half, but still just a couple unforced errors, sometimes getting bailed out by the Southeastern defense as well.
Diom will be in for Southeastern for the first time. Jurisic and Morales in for Highland. Hansen and Suleiman to the bench. Prophet Fields down low to Diom. Had it poked away, back to Fields. Tony was on the deck and picks up an unfortunate foul. Just the wrong place at the wrong time.
Love the interior defense effort, though, of the Cougars. They're making it tough for Southeastern to get something inside.
Baseline out of bounds for the Blackhawks. Donley will bounce to Diom against Daryl Toney. Diom spins to the baseline. Had it knocked away from behind. And a whistle and a foul against Daryl Toney. 2 fouls in 20 seconds for Toney. Diom rolls in the high arcing foul shot. Udella in for Toney. And Brady Martin back in for Jaleel Donley. Brady Martin and Prophet Fields are the 2 active sophomores who are part of the regular rotation for Lorenzo Watkins. Martin so far has 8. Prophet Fields hasn't scored yet tonight. 8-point lead. Morales steps into a 3. Around and out. We will stay here. Udella picks up the foul against Crumry. His first. Morales launches again. Got knocked down, no whistle. Jurisic on the follow. And now I believe a flop was called against Kevin Morales. Trying to draw the foul on a 3-pointer.
I think they're saying that he kicked out there. I don't know if I totally agree with that, but it was close. He was coming around a screen. He was coming around hard, and I think his momentum took him towards the baseline.
Well, Crumry misses the technical foul shot.
I think I probably would have gone with the no call there, all things considered.
Didn't look like a ton of contact. That's the first time we've seen it here at Freeport, of flopping technical called. Brady Martin against Jurisic. William Thomas thought about the step back too. Fields. Nice defense by Hill Jr. Prophet Fields looks for help. 5 on the shot clock. Crumry down the lane and banks it in. A possession that looked like it was going nowhere ends up in 2 points for the Blackhawks. Hill Jr. can't answer. Diem the board. Prophet Fields right to the rim. He scores 2. It's a double-figure lead for the Blackhawks.
The shot creativity is good. The outside shooting is good. And now you feel that Southeastern offense clicking.
Hill Jr., Highland needs it. Short, Udella sticks it back in. Hill Jr. has again had open looks from 3. Coming off an 0 for 8 game from downtown last Saturday. But he is certainly capable of being a much better shooter. Martin leaves for Crumry. Great offense by Southeastern, but they can't hit. Jurisic had it go through his hands and was laying on the sideline. That was an odd man fast break for Highland. Fields to the bench. Isaiah Hinson back in. It was a very tight rotation for Southeastern last Saturday at Indian Hills. And they got down double figures early, but then battled back and played at their pace. This was out of bounds. It will stay with Southeastern. And now a discussion. Eric Walton does not agree with the call. And they will reverse the call. Highland basketball.
Easier than having a challenge. That was deflected off of Southeastern. The one thing, if you're the Cougars, that you like defensively is if they screen the screener and nothing's open, then things kind of start to break down for the Southeastern offense.
But right now, it's been trouble for Highland in the paint, the offensive end. Hansen has not touched the ball in a handful of possessions. Jurisic, a 3. Way too strong. Martin with his head up. William Thomas will cross over. Will step into a mid-range J. It rolls off. Hines the rebound. Back outside, Hinson. A long 2 wouldn't go. And Hansen secures the rebound underneath.
Great effort on the offensive glass tonight from the Blackhawks. They're getting so many second chance points and 3-point looks.
Hill Jr., that was deep, and he finally drills a 3. Walter Hill Jr. has 7. He has hit twice inside the arc tonight. 5-point game. William Thomas dribbled into trouble. Hines hooks a pass inside. Crumry. Trevin Crumry leads all scorers with 9 points. Hill Jr. Variety of moves. Jurisic on the back down. Morales, Hill Jr., another deep triple. Way short. Hansen the rebound. Gets blocked by Hines. And it stays with Highland. 7 on the shot clock for the Cougars. Really tough rebound to retrieve if you're Southeastern. That ball was way short of the iron. Jurisic wide open. Back iron. William Thomas, nice hesitation. Meets Hansen, who went straight up. Hill Jr. in a hurry. Morales, wide open 3. Weak side board, last touched, William Thomas.
Morales has done a good job of creating 3-point chances for himself, but also at the same time the Cougars, if they want to win this game, have to knock down a couple of those.
1:59 to play, timeout on the floor. Highland trails 29-22 against Southeastern. Now, Sam, it's just been a struggle for Highland on the offensive end. What do you think they can do offensively? 'Cause it seems like they've had open looks, but they're just not falling from three.
A little less iso ball, I should say. And I think in transition, too, I think they're getting too ahead of themselves. I think they're thinking one play ahead instead of just taking what's in front of him. A couple turnovers have been the result of that. They've done a decent job attacking inside, but they're not a great free throw shooting team. Hansen hasn't had one of his better games so far. I think really it comes to team basketball. They're playing too much by themselves on the offensive end.
Chin Hansen had a ton of early touches.
But he's been doubled every time, Adam, pretty much.
Which should create an opening on the offensive end. 29-22 Southeastern. 1:59 to play in the half. Washington will inbound. Highland has hit 3 triples in the first half. Down low to Hansen. Hines tried to front the post and picks up the foul.
Hines has done a really good job defensively against Hansen and has taken advantage of the Cougars on the offensive glass, too.
7th team foul against the Blackhawks. 1-and-1 coming for Chin Hansen. Crumry has the rebound. I think a lot of players on the floor did not know that was a 1-and-1.
Oh, Crumry knew, that's for sure.
That's the most important player because he grabbed the rebound. Martin over Morales. Wouldn't fall. Last hit by Jurisic. Eby in for Eric Hines, who, although he averages just 6.2 a game, he is the guy guarding most fives on every night for Southeastern. And this is one of the biggest challenges he's faced. Chin Hansen. At the same time, you are seeing him for the 3rd time this season. Morales, the steal off the inbounds and tosses to Washington. What a defensive play by Kevin Morales. Drops to Hansen. Hansen goes up. Count the basket. +1.
You talk about defense leading to offense. The Cougars have done a solid job on the inbounds plays. A great steal leads to transition offense that makes sense and is timely.
In and out on the free throw. And now we have a timeout. Jurisic is, I think, looking for maybe some sort of medical tape. So Hansen's missed a couple free throws here. He was making a motion, like a travel motion. I was thinking, what exactly is he asking for? But he was asking for tape on his wrist. Blackhawks still a 5-point lead. That was one of the first times that Highland has really gotten out in transition. And it led to a really quality look for Chin Hansen. Fields nearly stepped out of bounds. Donley attacks Hill. Draws contact. And 2 shots coming for the Minnesota native.
That's an example of Donley just letting the offense come to him, which is something Coach Watkins had talked about. Just that aggressiveness, that drive to the basket, especially with so many lefty guards on this team, something they can keep trying to pursue.
Donley rolls in the first foul shot. Second is up. Wouldn't go. Washington, nice box out. And he draws the foul against Eby. Really bad foul because that sends Washington to the line for a 1-and-1. And at this point in the half, with Highland struggling to score in the half-court offense, Southeastern just did the Cougars a big favor. Washington, like you mentioned at the top, coming off a career-high 15 points. Front end of the 1-and-1 is all net. Washington, before that game, had 4 triples in the previous 25 games. Had 3 last Saturday. And is good on both free throws. As much as a struggle as it's been offensively for the Cougars, they're down just 4 under a minute to play. Donnelly hands to Hinson. Fields against Jurisic. Sees a driving lane, denied. Hanson just snatched it right out of Fields' hand. Hill Jr. Morales spins. Washington, 3. Bullseye! Anthony Washington still hot from deep. And Highland trails by just 1 with the shot clock off. 10 seconds remains in the first half. Donnelly against Jurisic. Steps back. Way off the mark. Hill Jr. the board. And Highland only trails by 1, 30-29, as they head to the halftime locker room.
A frantic finish to close for sure. You love the aggressiveness. You love the defensive intensity turning up. I feel like both teams kind of felt each other out early. Southeastern making a lot of outside shots, but once Hines comes off the floor, you feel like the game changes a bit if you're the Blackhawks. And he doesn't play too many minutes, only 15 per game this season. But when he was on the floor, that was a huge difference for Southeastern.
Leading scores for Highland, Hill Jr. had 7. Washington and Hanson each had 5. Jurisic had 6. Crumry had 9 for the Blackhawks. Martin had 8. All those came really early on. And Eric Hines had 4. 30-29 Southeastern over Highland is the halftime score. We'll be back for the second half after this break. Welcome back to Larry F. Kale Gymnasium. Southeastern leads Highland 30-29. Adam Oppenheim with Sam Oppenheim. Southeastern had a lead that got to 10, and Highland was able to chisel the deficit to just 1.
I think if you're Highland, you're pretty happy with the fact you shot 35% in that first half and only trailed by 1. The one area concern, 8 offensive rebounds for Southeastern, and Eric Hines was a big part of that, as we talked about towards the end of that first half. But you really need to see more efficient shooting from the guards, including Walter Hill Jr. Anthony Washington, I think, needs to be more aggressive as well.
Eric Hines had 4 offensive rebounds. It seemed like once Hansen was switched on to the perimeter that there was a big size advantage inside. Hines is going to play big minutes, you would think, in the second half, because once he came off the floor, that's when Highland went on the run to close the first half, capped off by an Anthony Washington 3.
And if you're Southeastern, you're confident, too, in your ability to grow this lead again. You led by as many as 10 points, but you're shooting the ball well from the outside. Martin and Crumry both making trays. I think they understand what they need to do to win. Now the problem is, have the Cougars made enough adjustments to counter that?
Crumry had 9, Martin had 8. Highland comes out with Washington, Hill Jr., Morales, Jurisic, and Hansen. It'll be Hines, Martin, Crumry, Fields, and Donley. So the same starters for each team begin the second half. The Blackhawks lead the Cougars 30-29. They start with the ball in half number 2. Hines and Hansen, the matchup to watch. The 2 5-mans. Hines on the back down. Skips it to Fields. Inside the paint. He kisses it off the glass.
Nice play from Fields despite the pressure there. Went up strong with it.
Just the second field goal from Prophet Fields. He averages 10 a game. Hill Jr. into his bag. Washington to the corner. Morales. Jurisic to Hill Jr. Picture perfect ball movement, but Hill Jr. missed it. Morales, a reload. Wouldn't fall. And it stays with Highland. Jurisic keeps the possession alive.
Best ball movement we've seen all game from Highland, and they just can't knock down the second chance 3.
Hansen calling for it off the inbounds. Spins against Hines. Over the top. He banks it in. Shin Hansen now has 7. Tied for the team lead with Walter Hill Jr. Donley draws out Washington. The best perimeter defender for Highland. Donley over the top. Foul against Hansen. Trying to box out Eric Hines.
Compare Hansen to Flory Badunga of Kansas with a little bit more of an outside shot. He's very physical down low. I will say that the defense at times has been a little questionable, but Hines has also played a heck of a game.
Martin with 10 on the shot clock against Morales. He lost it. Morales on the deck with one hand. Gets it away to Jurisic, who hits the deck. And Hill Jr. takes it up court. Hansen sees 2. Morales wouldn't go from the corner. Hill Jr. taps it. Battling with Martin. And it goes to Southeastern. Highland has had some wide open shots from deep. Blackhawks still have a 1-point lead, 32-31. Under 18 minutes to play in the second half. Crumry inside of Hines. Has Jurisic on him. He'll attack. And I think a foul was called.
Oh, Hines didn't think so, though.
It goes against Jurisic for a push. The amount of contact they've allowed in that game, in this game rather, that wasn't a whole lot. Of course, Hines lost the ball out of bounds, so it's either a turnover or a foul. Martin will take a screen, open for three, way off. Hines the rebound, had it poked away by Jurisic, who draws the foul. So Stevan Jurisic gets the possession right back for the Cougars.
A lot of physicality here. I thought that first foul call was right, but maybe just a bit late. And then there you see Jurisic fighting for the offensive rebound, and I think we're going to see a pretty close game here the rest of the way, Adam, just because these two teams still feels like a bit of that rock fight, but also things are opening up a bit.
Livinus in for Hines, so he will match up with Hansen. Hill Jr. Morales thought about the triple attempt against Fields. Jurisic wide open. Left it short, Hansen the rebound. Size advantage down low. He gets whacked. Hansen was going 1 against 3. Foul goes against Crumry. That's his third. Highland will inbound. Hill Jr. from the baseline. Got it. Walter Hill Jr. has 9. And Highland now leads 33-32. Martin off the bounce. Jaleel Donley picked up his dribble. Martin inside. Livinus got hammered on the interior by Washington, who went up for a highlight reel block.
Man, that would have been something special. Good decision to foul, though, given that was going to be an easy 2.
Livinus 10 for 22 at the foul line this season.
And that's part of the decision you have to make as well, is he was well off on that first one.
It's very tough in that situation, coming from the weak side, to actually get a clean block. If you're Anthony Washington, you're giving up a lot of size as well. That was the 13th foul against Highland. Livinus misses both. And Washington will bring it up court. Bounces to Hansen against Livinus. Hansen draws a double. Washington short. Hansen ties up Livinus on the rebound. Stays with Highland on the possession arrow. Shin Hansen is just inviting the double to pass out of it into open shots. Hansen will back down, draws 2 again, it's deflected. Out to Morales, 8 on the shot clock. Kevin Morales spins, leaves, Hansen, long 2. Short, Jurisic the rebound, and he was fouled by Martin. 2 shots coming for Stevan Jurisic. And Highland is just crushing Southeastern on the glass in the second half. Jurisic good on the first.
Feels like an opposite story of the first half, where Southeastern had 8 offensive rebounds.
Second wouldn't go. Highland has a 2-point lead with 15:45 remaining in the second half. Livinus against Hansen. Offensive foul. Livinus hooked Hansen.
Well, definitely a different pace from the first half, a little more settled, but also there's already been 7 fouls, and we have just played over 4 minutes.
Hinson into the game for Crumry for the Blackhawks. Hanson's fingerprints are all over this second half. 2 more inside for Chin Hanson. Timeout Southeastern. Highland leads 36-32. 15-19 left in the second half.
Well, what an opportunity there to start the second half, coming out strong. 7-2 advantage so far since the break, and man, you talk about taking advantage down low, getting those offensive rebounds, even getting open looks for 3 that they're not necessarily making if you're the Cougars. And for Southeastern too, the offense just looks a little different now, a little less Martin. Fields is still doing pretty good ball handling, pretty good playmaking, but at the same time, I think you're going to run into foul trouble. Already 4 fouls for them here in the second half.
Southeastern is frankly lucky that the lead is only 4 for Highland, because when you double Hanson so early and he has eyes on everyone who's open for Highland, the Cougars hit a couple of those threes and they could blow the game open.
Well, he feels a little more prepared for that look here in the second half. He saw it all in the first half. I think he's come out with a bit of different mindset, protecting the ball a little more in these opening minutes.
Southeastern has the ball after their timeout. They trail 36-32. Donley against Hanson. Nice hesitation move. Morales tried to meet him at the rim, but a whistle and a foul. It's the 3rd against Urisic. And I think he's coming out of the game for David Udella. Donley swishes home the first foul shot. Southeastern now 4 for 8 from the foul line. Actually, Udella comes in for Chin Hanson. This could be a lot of free throws down the stretch with each team having 4 fouls.
Absolutely, and I think you don't want to lose the three-point shooting ability of Urisic either.
Urisic will take it up the court. Walter Hill Jr. playing a little more off the ball. We haven't seen that a ton this season. Urisic, nice feed to Washington. Banks it in. It nearly fell out, but a friendly Cougars roll for the sophomore Anthony Washington. Back to 4. Hill Jr. the deflection. Here's Eric Walton, claps his hands on the sideline. Donley to inbound. Hinson has it. Livinus was calling for it. Donley takes it into his own hands, right to the rim for an easy deuce. Right down the floor, Morales. Couldn't finish. Loose, Martin scoops it up. Livinus, bad pass. Washington got back on defense to intercept it. Morales from the corner. Washington, Hill Jr. Yes, on a triple. Five-point lead for the Cougars. 41-36. Livinus down low. Easy 2 on the interior. Urisic trying to challenge on the inside and comes up hobbling. Morales, the midi. Donley leaves to William Thomas. Morales went sky high looking for a block. William Thomas draws 2 foul shots at the expense of hitting the ground hard.
Last few possessions, Offensive rebound to 3 for Highland. And Levinas strong inside as well. We didn't see too much of him in the first half, Adam. Gotten some big minutes here in the second.
William Thomas hits the first foul shot. Kevin Morales has made a couple highlight reel blocks this season. But that time, William Thomas decelerated him with Morales already in the air. It's pretty much an automatic foul. Jurisic and Morales to the bench. Suleiman and Hansen in. Second foul shot. Rolls off for William Thomas. 2-point Cougar lead. Suleiman. 12 on the shot clock. Suleiman had it knocked away. William Thomas leaves it for Donley. Attacks the rim. 2 more shots coming for the Blackhawks.
Great hands by Martin there defensively. It wasn't his defender, but he realized he could crash into the paint a little more, and he caused that takeaway.
Free throws starting to pile up for Southeastern. 12th and 13th foul shots. And a chance to tie the game for Jaleel Donley. Southeastern led by 10 in the first half. Highland went on a quick spurt to end the first half. It was 30-29 at the break. Southeastern led.
Well, a little bit of press here, Adam.
And Highland has struggled with full court pressure a bit this season. Hill Jr. breaks it all by himself. Washington was looking to give it to Hansen. Martin in the passing lane. Another Cougars turnover. Fields around Hansen. Donley open. Couldn't cash out. Hill Jr. Get a Hansen screen. Chin Hansen. Blackhawks showing 2, so he pulls out. 5 on the shot clock. Hansen, the crossover. It won't go. The baby hook. All tied at 41. Donley, Martin. Suleiman closed the space quickly. Brady Martin had 8 in the first half. They all came within the first 8 minutes. Hill Jr. knocks it away from Livinus. Walter Hill Jr. Nasty crossover. The stop. 2 shots for Walter Hill Jr.
I think if you're Southeastern, you have to try to force the ball to Martin more, or maybe be more aggressive in taking some of those slightly contested 3-point shots. Like you said, no points since early in the game. And boy, this has become a free throw game, hasn't it?
Fouls stacked up early in the second half, and Highland's at 16 fouls and Southeastern's at 5 as Hill hits the first free throw. Hines in for Livinus. Good minutes off the bench for Southeastern. Jurisic and Morales back in for Highland. Hill Jr. says miss as the ball went in the air. It hit the front rim and went in. Walter Hill Jr. has 14. Full timeout. Highland leads 43-41. 11-17 to play in the second half. after the Highland full timeout. Southeastern will maintain the ball, trailing 43-41. Great defense on both ends from these teams. Well, the fouls have started to stack up early in the second half. Hines had it stripped away. Hill Jr. has to get across the timeline. He does. Hill Jr. finds Washington. 15 on the shot clock. Hill Jr. works against Donley. Walter Hill Jr., tough two. Couldn't bank it in. Donley leaking out. Washington pursuing. And Anthony Washington picks up the foul.
If you're Washington, I felt like that three-point opportunity potentially with about 15 seconds left on the shot clock was maybe the best look they were going to get.
No doubt. You can't always pass up good shots and hope for great, especially in this game where there has not been a lot of open looks, at least inside the three-point arc for Highland. Donley has a 1-and-1. He hits the first. Third against Washington. Southeastern already into the bonus. Donley misses the second. A whole lot of missed foul shots for the Blackhawks. 2-point Highland lead. Washington dances up the floor. Martin poked him from behind. Hansen has it. Surrounded. Morales! Look to dunk out Hines, but draws the foul against Eric Hines. Fourth against Eric Hines. Lorenzo Watkins looks to his bench and now turns back towards Morales. No sub coming for Southeastern. Morales now has 4 points. Short on the second. It's loose. Martin retrieves. Nearing the midway point of half number 2. Highland leads Southeastern 44-42. Donley against Urisic. Steps back. Off the mark from the foul line. Crumry has the rebound.
That was a big part of their first half success, rebounding on the offensive end, and even if they're not making as many threes, they're still doing that.
Hansen surrounded. Got hit from behind. I think that goes against Hines. So Hines is out. He picks up 2 fouls and probably a minute of game time. Two shots for Chin Hansen, as Falou Diom, who played a little bit in the first half, is probably going to play major minutes here in the second.
I mean, you should mark that down right there. 44-44 before that foul shot. And with 9:35 to go, one of the best players in this game is fouled out.
Eric Hines has been excellent tonight. Lane violation against Highland. Second free throw won't count for Hansen. So Highland leads 45-44. 9:25 to play. Urisic, that's a silly foul. 1-and-1 for Crumry.
You just watched Hines commit his 5th foul and foul out of the game. Now if you're Urisic, you're almost kind of returning the favor, putting yourself in foul trouble and causing Coach Walton to go to the bench.
That's the 4th against Urisic. And he will come out for Udella.
It's like a mirror image, Adam.
Except Eric Hines stayed in the game.
True.
And then picked up that 5th foul. But with how well Urisic has played tonight, Eric Walton needs him for the last 5 minutes of this game. Front end of the 1-and-1 wouldn't go. Clanked off the back iron. Highland, the ball, and a 1-point lead. Washington, down the lane, Euro steps in, couldn't finish. Crumry emerges with the rebound. Fields hasn't looked for a shot a ton today. Martin has. Martin on the drive to the reverse. He scores it off glass.
What a sweet move after a couple great defensive plays. Finally gets a chance to score in the second half.
Hansen. Lorenzo Watkins calls for a double. Leaves Udella open. David Udella on the drive. Off the glass and in. David Udella has his second field goal. Highland back in the lead at 47-46. Donley leaves it for Dio, who's guarded by Udella. Hansen there and help defense. And Chin Hansen picks up the foul. Was in perfect position. And it looked like he just came down on the arm of Dio. Only the second against Chin Hansen. But now the rest of the way, on any Highland foul, Southeastern will be shooting 2 foul shots. Dio gets the roll on the first. (15 for 22 from the line this season. Second one is well short. 8 minutes to play in the second half. Tied at 47. Hansen on the baseline. Goes inside. Wouldn't roll home, but he draws a foul. 2 shots coming for Chin Hansen.
Man, free throw is going to be critical down the stretch. We know they always are, but every time a team makes both shots at the line, it feels like a huge win as opposed to just making 1 or 2 and splitting them.
These teams have combined to shoot about at 60% from the line in this game. And Hansen able to up that a little bit as he buries the first. Although he should have had 2 made free throws last trip, but it was a lane violation against the Cougars. This time, he's perfect from the charity stripe. 49-47, Cougars lead, 7:45 to play. Donley is trapped. Martin fakes. Crumry in and out.
Man, I thought that was Martin's 3 all the way. He was wide open on the wing.
Morales hesitates, drives the baseline. Nice pass to Washington. Hill Jr. Bingo! Timeout Highland. Walter Hill Jr. has 17 points and 3 hits from distance. Cougars lead the Blackhawks 52-47. 7:13 remains in the second half.
come to every game.
52-47. 7:13 to play in the second half. Highland, the 5-point lead. They trailed by as many as 10 in the first half. The halftime lead was 1 for Southeastern. And it has been a rock fight here in the second.
It has, but I think you see the dichotomy of this half in those last two possessions. Martin passes on an open three, leads to a shot by Crumride, but he misses, and then Hill Jr. just steps into it and nails it.
And that was all off of another double on Chin Hansen. Martin, this time fires and fills it up from downtown. Timeout Southeastern.
I'm not a fortune teller, Adam, but I like it when what I say comes true. So
that was well done. Martin now has 13 points. This is a 30-second timeout, so players will stay on the floor. Exactly 7 minutes to play. Highland has had some games down to the wire. This sure feels like another one. They had the game on January 10th against Daly College, where they let up a giant lead. Walter Hill Jr. hits a basket in the lane plus the foul. And then Sauk Valley Cougars came out on top 92-91 in the very next game on January the 15th. Hill Jr. step back three, hits it. And for Sauk Valley, they hit a shot, but their foot was on the line. It was ruled a 2-point basket. Back underway, 52-50 Highland. Under 7 to play. Washington on the deck. Timeout was called by Kevin Morales, I think.
Yep, great heads-up play there by Morales to take it. You still have one left after this, and especially in a situation with a one-possession game, you got to take that timeout.
Southeastern has 4 remaining. Obviously, you don't want to burn a timeout, but the way this game's going, every possession is so critical. As Eric Walton's going to draw something up. 19 on the shot clock.
This whole second half has been a two-possession game, at least within that, oftentimes one possession. So you're absolutely right. You can't always save your timeouts for later. Eventually you got to use them in a situation like that. Morales made a heads-up play. He was right where he needed to be.
52-50 Cougars. 6:48 to play. Washington will take the inbound pass. Morales will attack. Floats it off one leg. Hansen catches. Couldn't finish, but got fouled.
I don't know if that was the intended play for Morales to lob it in the spot he did, but Hansen, great tip drill to himself, and he earns another trip to the line where he's been a lot in the second half.
Hansen has really lived at the line. And he's connected on his last 4 free throws.
And remember, that other one would have been good if not for a lane violation.
Hansen. Good on the second. 4-point Cougars lead. Feels like this game for the last 7 or 8 minutes has either been tied or within a 4-point lead for Highland. Morales, great pressure on Fields. Nearly stepped out of bounds. Livinus looking to give it up. Donley on the dribble against Hansen. Picked up his dribble. Will spin and draws the foul with 4 on the shot clock.
Oh, I don't know about that one, Adam. Seemed like a bit of a desperation leap up in the air. Had no real shot of it, and I thought Highland was pretty straight up there.
It's hard to see from our vantage point if there was contact, but I can tell you Jaleel Donley certainly tried to sell the foul. And he will take 2 at the line. It's on the first. Donley into double figures. with 10.
Donnelly very aggressive on these drives. He has earned a lot of these trips to the free throw line with really tenacious offense.
It's been his dribble penetration, not so much Prophet Fields here tonight for Southeastern. Morales in the lane. The teardrop wouldn't go. Morales the rebound. Hansen's calling for it. Morales doesn't see him. Kevin Morales on the baseline. Feeds Udella. Washington alone. Knocks it down. Anthony Washington has his second triple tonight. 5-point Cougars lead. 5.5 to play. Donley couldn't bank it in. Hansen saves it to Morales. Washington attacks, gives Morales. Side of the rim. That just looked like it came off his hand wrong.
It absolutely did. He had more time than he had on any 3 attempt tonight.
Donley scans the floor, has Hansen on him. Jaleel Donley moves it to the top for Crumry against Washington. Has it knocked out. Stays with Southeastern. Caitlin William Thomas in for Trevin Crumry. 8 on the shot clock. Donley will trigger the inbound. Martin, open, 3, wouldn't go down. William Thomas was fouled on the putback. Brady Martin's 3 was halfway down, and it just popped out.
I'd say 75%, Adam. But great inbounds play. He was open, he set his feet, and a great offensive rebound by William Thomas in a good spot under the basket, and now back to the line again.
Martin holding his jersey. Not happy about missing that shot, but that was about as picture perfect of a play off a baseline out of bounds that you will see. Urisic is back in with his 4 fouls. Udella to the bench. William Thomas rolls in the second and cuts the lead to 3 for Highland. Hill Jr. gets it away to Washington. A lot of big shots from Highland today, but still a lot more work to be done. Urisic on the back down. Right hand jump hook. Short. Last touch by Urisic. Great look inside the paint for Stevan Urisic. Fields with 4 to play in the half. Draws out Hansen. Jaleel Donley against Morales. Hesitates. Lost the ball. Right through the wickets of Washington. Turnover, Southeastern.
And if you're Southeastern here, I really like dialing up the pressure here. It's not in late stages. You're not down by a whole heck of a lot, only 3 points. But why not try to put some more pressure on the Highland offense?
We will see if Highland tries to get the ball back to Chin Hansen. Martin the takeaway. William Thomas down the lane was swatted by Hansen. And then Livinus was fouled on the second chance effort by Chin Hansen.
2 great defensive plays there. Martin, boy, he's been in every passing lane tonight, and Hansen has made his impact felt defensively in the second half.
A great block, but Livinus was right there to clean it up.
However, if you are going to foul someone, the numbers would indicate that Kelvin's not the greatest free throw shooter, and, you know, given the fact Hansen's not in too deep of foul trouble, not a bad foul necessarily.
Second one wouldn't go for Livinus. 3-point lead for Highland with the ball. Washington leaves for Hansen. Chin Hansen in the paint, picks up his dribble. Hansen against Livinus, this time on the other side. Through contact, wouldn't fall, fields the rebound. William Thomas attacks, got hit from behind by Washington.
How about this response from Southeastern, especially from William Thomas? He's been active all over the floor, getting back to the line again, and great defense on that last possession against Hansen. He could have had an easy 2 there. They made it very difficult.
Kalen William Thomas. I was going to say has been great from the free throw line this year.
Well, you didn't. You didn't before he shot it, so.
89%, but that's 23 for 26. Hansen to the bench. Udella checks in. Some big missed foul shots by Southeastern. Second one falls for William Thomas. 57-55. Hill Jr., 10 on the shot clock, guarded by Martin. Hill Jr., step back 3, back iron, Udella is blocked from behind by Livinus. It stays with Highland.
Talk about flying in from the near corner. Udella skied for that rebound. Morales was also there. It could have easily been his rebound too.
2:25 left. Udella on the drive, finger rolls it in. Some big buckets by the freshman David Udella. Highland by 4, 2:10 to play. Fields attacks Udella. Another whistle. It's against Urisic. And he is fouled out. Urisic not happy as he heads to the bench.
He's claiming he didn't touch him. I'm pretty sure he did. That's a tough spot to be. You know, Fields is driving to the basket on pretty much every play. Donnelly is driving to the basket on pretty much every play. Someone else can try to contest that. You just can't put yourself in that situation. Not saying it's easy, but sometimes you kind of have to give up the basket if need be.
Highland has just been beat off the dribble. That's what it's come down to. And when they've tried to rotate, that's when Southeastern has caught them out of position. Although another missed free throw. Fields splits the pair. Under 2 to play, Highland leads by 3. Hill Jr. trapped. Calls the last timeout for the Cougars with 1:54 to play.
You could tell he's not happy about that.
But at this point in the game, you want to try to extend this to 2 possessions in any way possible.
Right, right. And if they were losing, maybe you'd feel a bit differently about taking that timeout, but up by 3, 2 minutes to go, and with a 30-second shot clock, which is now be at 20, you don't necessarily hate it. And also it gives Hansen more time to rest. I wonder how soon he comes back into the game.
So Eric Walton is going to draw something up, staring at Walter Hill Jr.
You think he wants to make up for getting into a trap there? I think so.
Eric Walton looks like he has lasers in his eyes right at the sophomore Walter Hill Jr. The leading returning scorer for Highland. Last year he played in 19 games. Missed the last 9 games of last season with an ankle injury. And now up to scoring from 10 last year to 15 this season.
And that's indicative against his performances against the Southeastern team. 17 tonight, 20 the last time they met in December.
And coming off of a couple of rough games for Walter Hill Jr., where he's not shot the ball well, this has to feel absolutely great for the Rockford, Illinois native. Highland will inbound, 1:54 to play. Udella, Hill Jr., Morales, Hanson, and Washington. The 5 for Highland.
Udella ball handling, huh?
Gives it to Hill Jr., guarded by Martin. 8 on the shot clock. Hill Jr. finds Hanson, lays it in on the dime from Walter Hill Jr. 5-point game with 1:30 to play. Highland leads 61-56. Donley attacks to his strong left hand, in and out. The rebound is tipped and out of bounds, stays with the Blackhawks.
Late in the game, bit of disarray on offense, put the ball in the hands of your point guard, who found Hanson for the easy 2.
Livinus, Hanson just gonna motion out to leave Livinus open. Fields, all net on a mid-range jumper. Back to a one-possession game. Timeout Southeastern. Highland leads 61-58 with the ball.
How big has the mid-range been, huh? For Southeastern, and no hesitation there from Fields. You're wondering maybe are they going to want a 3, but there's a lot of time left for them. There's 1:06. Both teams in the bonus, so you know what you're getting if you foul the rest of the way. I think it's an interesting situation if you're Southeastern, because I think at some point you got to try to make a triple. The problem is you just let a long offensive possession for the Cougars happen, and it led to an easy basket for them. That cannot happen again if you want a shot to win the game.
And it's funny, we talked about Southeastern shooting so much early on. They have 4 triples in the game. 3 came in the first 5 minutes of the game. The shooting touch has not been there in the second half, although they have had plenty of trips to the foul line, but they've missed a lot of foul shots.
They have. And to be fair, a lot of it is from the bigs, who are generally worse free throw shooters, but trips going 1 for 2 from the line feel a lot different when Chin Hanson has had 3 trips this half where he's gone 2 for 2.
Morales will inbound. Highland again has no timeouts. Hill Jr. gives to Udella. Highland gets it over. David Udella into the front court and finishes. David Udella, 2 clutch baskets. Donley rifles a pass. Who's gonna shoot it? 45 to play. Donley spins. Wouldn't go. Udella the board. 5-point lead. 35 to play. Washington holds. Hill Jr. under 30 to play.
Well, I think you got a foul here. You're only going to be left with about 10 seconds.
Hill Jr. all the way to the rim. "18 seconds to play. Highland leads by 7. And then a foul against Walter Hill Jr. He can't believe it.
Well, he can't, but I don't think he could believe how wide open he was on that layup, Adam. How much time they killed off. I think Southeastern really should have fouled there. You were down by 5, and if they took the whole shot clock, you would have only had 10 seconds left and down by 2 possessions.
Brady Martin, 79% at the line. Good on the first. There was about a 12-second difference between the shot and the game clock. Hill Jr. ran some of it out and then saw a driving lane, and then it was an easy deuce. Martin hits the second. Timeout Southeastern, and they will set up their full court press. Highland by 5, 65-60, 15.3 to play. Highland looking to win on sophomore night, their final home game of the regular season.
I want to give some love to Brady Martin quickly if I can after knocking down those 2 free throws. Team high 15 points, and Without his defense, they are not in this game. He's been phenomenal. It's been a great guard matchup. I know him and Hill haven't been on each other a whole heck of a lot, but they've both played really, really well, and I think have been the real guides for their teams.
Keep in mind, Highland has 0 timeouts. And Southeastern knows it as well in the huddle. Highland needs to get the ball in bounds. On every foul from here on out, 2 shots will be coming.
And if you go back to a few earlier plays, when Washington was in trouble on the floor, Morales called timeout. Hill immediately got trapped in a double. He called timeout. What Coach Walton has to say is, guys, we cannot do that in this situation no matter what. You have to hold on to it for as long as you can or try to get it to freedom.
Kelvin Eby will guard the inbound. 6'7", Washington the inbounder. You would think you could just toss it up to Chin Hansen as well. Hill Jr. comes free. Fouled by Martin. Walter Hill Jr. has been a giant part of this Cougars program. Highland comes in losing 7 out of their last 8. But boy, would this win feel great heading into the final couple games of the regular season. First foul shot, though, was no good. Hill Jr. misses the second. 5-point game. Donley under 10 to play. William Thomas to the rim. He throws it down. 3-point game. Hill Jr.'s fouled with 4.1 to play. Kalen William Thomas met Chin Hansen up top.
The best play of the game may have been the last bucket of the game. It took a lot of time, but it was a high-quality look, obviously very high percentage, and what a throwdown.
And what a play by Chin Hansen not to foul.
Yep.
That extra point would have been huge. Hill Jr. hits the first 2-possession game, 66-62, 4.1 to play. Southeastern will need a miracle. Hill Jr. good on the second. Martin takes it across half court. Deep 3, swishes through with .4 to go.
Can't turn it over here.
Brady Martin from way downtown. Udella catches the inbounds, and Highland survives. 67-65 the final.
The closing moments had great play from both of the star guards. From Martin, what a triple. And unfortunately for him, there were only .4 left, and Walter Hill Jr., even though he missed those pair of free throws, was, as always, good late in the game, a very clutch performer.
Highland wins 67-65, led by Walter Hill Jr. with 21. We'll hear from Walter Hill Jr. and maybe even another player, and certainly head coach Eric Walton right after this. You've been watching Highland Cougars basketball. Stay with us. Yep. Welcome back to Freeport, Illinois, here with Walter Hill Jr. Walter, a big 21 points from you today,
Yeah.
and a big Cougars victory.
Yeah,
How'd you guys get it done?
We just came together, played hard together. We needed that win right there.
You guys were down by 1 at the half, but a
Mhm.
few minutes before that, you were down 10.
Yeah.
What flipped the switch?
We just that fire in us. We haven't been playing good that much, but we wanted this game. This is sophomore night, so we just wanted to go out and win.
You've struggled shooting the ball from deep the past few games.
Yeah.
How good did that feel, seeing some of those fall?
Nah, it felt real good. I'm not gonna lie. I just been in my head. I mean, it just I know I got the best shot in here, so I just gotta keep shooting.
Lastly, sophomore night.
Yeah.
You've had 2 great years in the program.
Yeah.
What has it been like being a Cougar?
It been. I appreciate Highland. It shaped me to who I am right now. We get it from out the mud. I'm not gonna lie. We grind every day. I'm proud to be here.
Once again, Walter Hill Jr., 21 points, 3 triples.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walter, for the
Yeah.
time. Delay. All right. Welcome back to Freeport, Illinois, here with Chin Hansen. Chin, a giant game today, 16 points. But for you guys, you were down 10 in the first half. You cut it to 1 at halftime. What changed for you guys?
I just feel like the energy, like we was down by we cut the lead down in the halftime, so I feel like we just came out with a positive mindset, like we're still in this game.
For you, you've seen a lot of defensive coverages throughout the entire season. It was clear they were going to double you. How much have you worked on making that read throughout the season?
It's something I've been like really working on coach, like he's like been on my back, like telling me like be patient, like pass out because they all coming at me all I want. So I just been working on it.
It was sophomore night for you guys, last home game. I know you've only been at Highland for 1 season, but what has it been like being a Cougar?
It's been ups and downs. It's been great. I feel like people think like we're not like in the playoff run, but I feel like we can win the whole thing. That's how I feel. So yeah.
Well, a couple games left to play for Highland. Thank you, Chin, for the time.
No problem.
Welcome back to Larry F. Kale Gymnasium in Freeport, Illinois. Now here with head coach Eric Walton. Coach, this one was a grind. You found ways to lose games this year. This time, you found a way to win. How did your team do it?
You know what? It says something when you can come back after what we've been dealing with and just grind out a game. This is, sophomore night, a lot of emotions into it, but I know Southeastern is a good team. I've been telling them we just need one good win to kind of springboard us and get us going. And we did. I mean, look at Chin, 14 points, 16 boards. I mean, he's one of the top rebounders in the nation. You understand? And Walter Hill, You know, look at this. That's efficient. 7 of 15. Last couple of games, he's pulled over 40-some shots. 7 of 15, and, you know, he was 3 of 9, but 21 points. I'll take that any night. And then the rest of the guys stepped up. And this is what we've been kind of like just drilling. And they're starting to pick up and really just believe in themselves.
You talked about some of the stars, Chin Hansen, Walter Hill Jr., obviously giant parts of the team. David Udella might have had his best game as a Cougar. What did you see from him, especially in the clutch?
You know, he's been buried on that bench because he's just been trying to figure it out, figure out the college basketball. It's hard playing, you know, going from high school to college. It's a different speed, different game. But you know what? He stepped up big. He listened to me. He did what he's supposed to do. He only had that one three. I wanted to choke him for that one, but he actually did what he had to do, and he bounced back. He played a really good game. Just the mixture of him and then, you know, Trey coming in. So we threw a bunch of different people on the inside and mixed up the defense a little bit, and it kind of threw Southeastern off some.
7 sophomores on this team. Can you just talk about what this sophomore class has meant to the program?
You know, it just seems like yesterday we just started conditioning. And I kind of told them, you know, the season flies by real fast. And even as my first year as a head coach, it has flown by very, very fast. These sophomores, I owe them a lot. This is my first year as the head coach here at Highland. And for those sophomores to believe in me, believe in our program, believe in what we're trying to do, and they're starting to see the light, that words can't express what I feel for them.
Well, a couple games left in the regular season, then you head on to the playoffs. What do you need your team to take from this game to the final regular season games?
We got to, you know what, we're going to have some games where we have to grind it out. You know, we got Malcolm X coming up. Malcolm X is tough. They got a guard on there that's very, very tough. Last time he came up here, I think he went off for 32?
37, I believe.
30. It was one of those. And it was one of those games where we still lost by 8. And we didn't have Walt. We didn't have Kevin on the floor. You know, so that adds a difference. And then we got to turn around and play Kennedy King. Kennedy King beat Triton. Like I tell everybody, like, our region's so wide open right now, it's not even funny. And then to go through that juggernaut, to finish off the final game, I think they're number 3 team in the nation, Indian Hills. I got to rethink this schedule for next year. But honestly, no, it's going to be a tough 3 games left. But you know what? This will get us going in the right direction for the playoffs. And I think we can be very dangerous, like I told you before. It's just a matter of belief in them doing everything, and they're starting to believe. They're really starting to believe.
Big victory for Highland on sophomore night. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Adam.
Welcome back to Freeport, Illinois for the final time in this 2025-2026 season. Sam, Highland hangs on to win 67-65. It was a dogfight for the entire second half. How did the Cougars close it out?
Well, they closed it out by making their free throws, which is always a key in basketball, not turning it over when they were pressed by the Blackhawks, and they relied on their best players. And You heard Coach Walton talk about how much better Chin Hansen was in the second half. He made a huge difference, and Walter Hill Jr. steadied the ship. And I think the real key play of the game was the one towards the near side where Hill Jr. kind of dumped it down low to Hansen with only a couple seconds left in the shot clock. And I think that one, you just felt kind of a moment of relief for everybody here. And that was a really gutty win by Highland, and I think Southeastern played a pretty good game too. I think eventually when their shots didn't foul and when their free throw shots didn't foul, that was a big issue. But they played a heck of a game, especially defensively.
Chin Hansen, double-double, 16 points, 14 rebounds. Hill Jr. had 21 on 3 triples. Anthony Washington had 10 for Southeastern. Brady Martin had 15. Chervin Krumrai had 11. Jaleel Donley had 11. Highland improves to 12 and 15 on the season. 9 and 9 in Region 4 play. They're at Malcolm X on Saturday. Eric Walton mentioned it. Joaquin Dixon, star guard, top 5 in scoring in the nation.
Yeah, he'll be great. There's a lot of great guards, especially in this Division 1 and Division 2. And it'll be tough. They won't be here at home. And speaking of which, Adam, last home game for you this season for the men's team. And I just want to say you and the rest of the guys have done a great job. You do a great job getting the coach interviews, talking to coaches from both sides. A lot of prep goes into it, a lot of highlights, and I really think it shows. I think you bring a great broadcast to there. I'm a little biased to say it, and I don't know who else is still listening, even though the game's already over, but I think it's really great stuff. And the fact that you have that relationship with the players and the team, I think it's really awesome.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. As for Southeastern, they fall to 15 and 11. They've lost 2 straight. Big shout out to Michael Bruskowski, the director of athletics for Highland. This is his first year as the athletic director for the Cougars. All of this, the camera, the audio, all the equipment, would not be possible without him. So again, thanks to Michael Bruskowski, director of athletics. You see him walking around Highland. Give him a thank you from Cougar Nation. And that's going to do it. 67-65, Highland defeats Southeastern on sophomore night. Cougars pick up a giant win, snapping a 2-game losing streak. For my partner, Sam Oppenheim, Director of Athletics, Michael Bruskowski, I'm Adam Oppenheim saying so long from Larry F. Kale Gymnasium in Freeport, Illinois, for the final time in the 2025-2026 Highland Cougars season. You've been watching Highland